So let's jump into our first learning lab. Time is money, how the Cura CV50 can transform your business.
Mm.
This session will be presented by Jordan LaCour, the Floor Care Product Manager for Kärcher North America. Jordan, over to you.
April, thank you very much for the introduction. I really appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, wherever it is that you are beaming in from. Thank you very much for joining us today. So, yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit today about a couple different equipment options. And the first one here, we're going to be talking with Kärcher's newest Cura, which is a Kärcher intelligent robotic application. We're going to be talking about a new autonomous vacuum cleaner that is really designed to try and make life a lot easier. Here's my contact information. I know that there is a button available if somebody wishes to send me an email, phone call, text, whatever might be easiest. By all means, I would be happy to answer any questions. I know we're also going to have a question and answer section here towards the end of the presentation. So as far as the Cura CV50, from looking at the picture right there, you can see that it kind of resembles what you might think of as an at-home retail type of Roomba style vacuum. We're going to show a little bit video here a little bit later. I assure you it's quite a bit larger, and this is much more of a professional type item for larger buildings, Class A office buildings, schools, hospitality applications, whatever it is that you might think. This unit, this autonomous vacuum, I assure you, it is very, very simple. It has the ability to do some self-mapping functionalities. It has a basic mode, which kind of acts a little bit more like, again, that home style autonomous vacuum that most folks kind of think of when they think of these types of vacuums. Very efficient. It's going to be able to cover large areas very rapidly, including underneath furniture or racks or storage shelves. It has a battery system that we use, and you can swap batteries for continuous runtime as desired. It's also very safe. You know, one question that we get on a pretty regular basis is the unit safe? We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. It's also a very intuitive unit. We do have a Kärcher app that you can have on your smart device to pair with the unit to kind of make life easier. So let's go ahead and take a little time to look at some video of this guy and understand about the Cura CV50 a little bit better here. So one of the things that's really, really nice about the unit is the way that it's packaged. And I know that sounds like a small thing, but it's actually really, really handy. If you have a central distribution location and then it goes from there to other smaller locations or different buildings, different facilities, they package it to make sure that it's very easy to transport. It's relatively light, and it's quite simple to do so. So you can kind of see the packaging there. All of the accessories come with it, all the different parts and pieces. You see those little decals right there? Those are just little home markers. There's no magnet, there's no FRID chip, nothing like that. It's just where we're going to start and stop different maps from. Again, it is a vacuum. This kind of shows you have this little debris bin in the back of it right here. It does come with a pleated style car filter. So the vacuum actually has excellent filtration. It has a second filter right there as well. So it is a true vacuum, again, that is going to be used to kind of help inside of your facility to be able to really cover a lot of ground very, very quickly. Again, you see there you have a yellow operator touch point, which kind of indicates something that we'll want to kind of inspect every time we run the unit, that guy right there, so you can dump the dirt and debris into the appropriate place. I wanted folks to have a chance to kind of see underneath this unit right here. You see it has several casters, so it's very balanced as it's kind of operating. You have these two larger drive wheels. As you can see, those wheels are floating, so high spots, low spots. If you have entrance matting, plush carpet over to cut pile carpet, that can actually easily adjust to those different heights. The same thing with the brush and the brush housing. As you see, it has that little guide underneath it so it doesn't pick up an entrance mat or something like that. You can remove that. Tool-free removal of the brush as well. So hair, carpet fibers, anything that we need to inspect or maintain, it's really, really simple to do so. And it can go on just kind of like that as far as how it is that you would put that plate back in there. And again, that whole thing is floating. So high spots, low spots, carpet pile of different sizes, it can adjust to it very easily. So it's always at the proper height. It does come with a couple of side brooms. So again, it has a wider cleaning path. It can bring in dirt material into that main vacuum lane right there. Here you see the battery platform. It actually has two batteries that can go in that guy. With two full batteries, it has 3 hours and 20 minutes of runtime. So a very nice amount of runtime as far as being able to clear many different routes, a lot of different area. And you see, you just turn the unit on just like that. You just simply press the button and it goes through its little diagnostic phase. And there's quite a bit of information that's available right on the HMI. You see, you have the 4 different buttons, and that's kind of how you navigate as far as what it is that you're looking to do within the system itself. So super simple to navigate. It comes in dozens and dozens of languages. So if English is not their first language, we can set up a profile for them and they'll very easily be able to navigate through that machine with the language that they're most comfortable with. It also has dozens and dozens of animations on the unit. So if someone needs help as far as how to turn it on, how to inspect this portion of it, how to change the brush. Again, there are dozens and dozens of live animations right on the machine itself. So really, really simple for new operators, new users, and it's not intimidating at all. It's very easy to cycle through and navigate on that little LCD screen that you see right there. As we're kind of going through it, again, if you want to claim the machine, you'll have the Kärcher app on your phone. You'll be able to navigate to that little QR code. You just scan it with your phone and it's going to pop up on your phone just like that. And then you'll actually have control of that machine immediately, just within seconds. So when it comes time to locate the machine, or if we want to set up a new map or whatever it is that we're doing, you'll have that machine connected right to your app. And you can most certainly have multiple machines if you have multiple vacuums inside of the facility. So again, we can just go ahead and plug in those batteries. We'll go ahead and turn the unit on. And we're going to talk a little bit about as far as how it is that we would actually map inside this facility, save those maps so that we can deploy the unit and it can be vacuuming inside of our facility autonomously with very little help. So the easiest thing to do is you can kind of scroll through, and it has a couple of different modes as far as cleaning. What you're seeing right now is basic mode. So again, kind of like what you would see with like a retail or a home style vacuum. If you wanted to, you could take this unit inside of an enclosed area, a large conference room, an auditorium, a classroom, a Class A conference building, a convention space at a hotel. Lock that door, turn it on basic mode, and you say, you figure it out. You go ahead and use that pressure plate in the front of the unit. You can just lightly guide yourself along walls, baseboards, furniture, whatever it might be, and it will just clean that entire space, and then you can come back when it's convenient for you. I wanted to show it also in kind of an office style setting right here. So you can see offices on the right, main corridors, cubicles on the left. We can actually map out this space and tell the Kärcher CV50 exactly how it is that we wanted to clean that particular space. So you can see right here, I'm going to get both of these guys together on the same exact screen, and I'm going to pair them together so that I can actually start driving it. You'll see on the vacuum itself, that little screen with the orange banner across it. I select that particular vacuum. I kind of navigate through my phone. You'll see those screens match up. And now I'm going to say, okay, I want you guys to go ahead and pair together via Bluetooth, and we're going to be able to create some maps. And there's really 2 ways to create those maps. And one, which we did here pretty recently, you can actually do it via remote control. So as you see, as it pairs those 2 guys together, you have the little digital joystick right there on your phone, and you can actually use it to drive around. Now you can see how the map on your phone is identical to the map on the machine. They see exactly the same thing. So that way we can tell it is where we want it to go and what it is that we want to view. Everything you see there in white, the Kärcher CV50 will be able to clean. As we're actually navigating the facility, we're taking a look at everything. As you see there in the upper portion of the phone, as it clears a cubicle wall, you'll actually be able to see different areas pop up in white. It's like, oh, I can see down that hallway. I can see down that corridor. Do you want me to clean that? So once it sees everything, we're going to go ahead and save that map, and then we're going to be able to very quickly and efficiently go in and edit that map. Maybe, during the course of the day, it's going to be a little bit easier not for it to bounce in and out of the offices where people are working. Maybe it'd be a little bit easier if it didn't go down those cubicle lanes. Maybe we just wanted to do it right down Broadway, right in the hallway. We can set up no-go zones. We can set up specialty cleaning zones, again, to edit that map and tell it exactly what it is that you would like it to do. So here you see I put in a couple of no-go zones. I said, let's just do the main corridor. Out in the wide open where people are walking, where people can see it, and it's not going to disturb anyone. And then we'll go ahead and deploy it. And you have a live picture on your phone exactly where it is, how efficient it's cleaning, how much of the route has been accomplished, how much it has left. And by golly, when we're back at our desk or our office working, when it's done, it's going to send you a notification, say, hey, I'm done cleaning with that map. What would you like me to do now? We can redeploy it. We can change the batteries. We can do whatever it is that we might like to do. And so you can actually select those guys, and it's going to give you a full cleaning report of what it cleaned, square footage, how far it traveled, what the name of that route was. And you can beam that off to someone. You can text it, you can email it, whatever is most convenient. Another feature that I really like about this is you can actually duplicate that same map. So we have this area right here. We want to do the main corridor in that hallway. But let's say after hours, maybe during lunch or maybe after the workday is done, I want it to go in those offices. I want it to go in those cubicles. I can duplicate that same exact map, and I can just alter where those no-go zones are. And not only that, I can set up a task and say, hey, I'm going to be off at lunch. I'm going to put in some fresh batteries with you. I'm going to set up a task, and boom, at 12:01, it turns on, and it's going to deploy, and it's going to go clean that area. So it really has a lot of functionality. It is very flexible as far as that information, and it's a really, really nice, very slick setup. And again, fully autonomous. You can have multiple units inside of your building on multiple floors. That way the human beings in the building are going to be able to concentrate and focus on the high value task targets, or the restrooms, things that folks are really, really concerned about. Heaven forbid, maybe there's an emergency in the facility. We can have the autonomous vacuum go ahead and do a lot of that work for us while we're doing other tasks. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to April. She's going to come back on. And if there's any questions that folks have right now, I'd be happy to answer them to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I'd like to know how I get one for my house.
Well, I'd be lying to you, April, if I said that I didn't have to do a little bit of testing in my own home. So I know exactly what you mean, but I can confirm the dog and the cats don't like it. That's just a kind of a fact of life,
Sure. Okay, we also have a question. Do you feel that autonomous vacuums will completely replace standard vacuuming in buildings?
That's a question that we get fairly often, and my answer is no. I do not think that it's going to replace standard vacuuming or upright vacuuming. I really think of autonomous as a supplement that can really greatly help the deployment of assets and the management of assets inside of our building. I think there's definitely going to be places where we're still going to want a dual motor upright vacuum, perhaps in a reception area, the entry point to a building where you have a tremendous amount of dirt and you need a little bit more work done with that dual motor. Backpack vacuums. As we know, fire codes, we don't have electrical outlets in stairwells. And so I definitely think that there's going to be absolutely places and times for backpack vacuums, battery powered ones, window dusting, high access dusting, things of that nature. So April, I really look at autonomous vacuums as a really helpful supplement for some of the wider areas inside of that facility.
Sure. Another question, can you please tell us what Kärcher stands for again?
I can. So Kärcher is Kärcher Intelligent Robotic Applications. We here at Kärcher really know that autonomy is here to stay. We're seeing it in every facet of our life, and this is a program that we know can really help inside of our facilities, again, manage some of these assets. And so we want to have a portfolio of different autonomous cleaning machines that can help people, whether they're scrubbers, whether they're vacuums, whether they're big, whether they're small. So yeah, that Kärcher Intelligent Robotic Applications.
Okay. What is the approximate cost of the unit?
So that guy that you saw right there, the suggested list price is about $13,000. That includes the unit itself, includes 2 lithium batteries. The lithium batteries, again, between the 2 units, about 3 hours and 20 minutes of runtime, so an extended period of runtime. Those lithium batteries can also recharge in a single hour, so we can have continuous runtime, software updates, things like that. Probably about every 6 weeks, there's usually a software update to fix bugs, make the machine more efficient, make the machine smarter, those types of things. And as we know, there's all different kinds of programs. Your local sales rep would be able to consult with you as far as the kind of the when and the where and that sort of thing. But right about $13,000 is the manufacturing suggested retail price.
Can it transition to hard floor and clean there as well?
It absolutely can. Those two larger drive wheels that we're able to kind of raise and lower along with that vacuum, the brush roller right there, it can. So if it went from a low cut pile carpet onto a tiled floor, it can clean against smooth surfaces or hard surfaces over to an entrance mat and back onto it. So yeah, it can easily transition over different flooring types and different heights. Absolutely.
Great. Lots of questions coming in. Will you develop a scrubber on this format?
We are looking into different things. Yeah, we do have a couple of autonomous scrubbers. They are larger for much larger areas, and without divulging too much information, we are looking at expanding that portfolio again to larger units, smaller units. So something in the future may not look exactly like the Kärcher CV50, but in terms of size and scope, we are certainly looking at things like that. Yeah, absolutely, for hard floor scrubbers as well, for wet applications, cleaning applications.
Great. Can the unit dock to a charging station on its own?
This one does not currently. No, it does have just those two independent batteries. And even if the unit was in the middle of a thing, middle of a route, you can actually see on the LCD how much power it has left. What it does is it drains one battery fully, and then it will cascade to the second battery. So you will know exactly what percentage exists for both of those batteries. And you can literally open up the top, and those batteries will tell you, I have 17 minutes left. I have 111 minutes left. And if you wanted to, you could stop it mid-route just for a nanosecond, take a second battery and swap it in and out really quick. So it's very easy to do, but currently it does not have a docking station.
Okay. Do you think this unit would make sense at a school district?
I do. I really do. I think especially on the basic mode, I could see that being really nice. Excuse me, as far as putting it into a classroom, closing the door and let it go. It'll be able to navigate underneath the desk, around the teacher's desk, different things. If you had a larger art room, you could certainly put it in there. Something such as the library, I could see it being very efficient inside of a library with all the different racks and bookcases and desks and chairs and things like that, being able to go underneath it. And around it, that's an area, April, in a library where I could see someone establishing a very distinct route and telling it exactly what to do. So I think there would be tremendous applications inside of a school facility, most definitely.
Okay. All right. We have time for one more question. How many different maps can you program on each unit? And how many different units can you have in the app?
As far as the app, great questions. As far as the maps, dozens, hundreds of them. We actually have test units that have hundreds and hundreds of maps on it. And to be honest, we've never actually come to the extent where it's just like, hey, you can't save any more maps on this thing. So hundreds of maps if desired. And then I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the second portion of the question.
How many different units can you have in the app?
Yes, dozens and dozens. Again, same thing. We have a lot of folks that have 20 units inside of their building. They have all 20 of those vacuums, and then you can actually invite users. So I could be the director of facilities, if you will. I could have 20 of those on my phone, and then I can invite these two people that do that building, or I can invite these three folks that use that building, and they could be the individual user for that vacuum. So you can have as few or as many of these as you want on the app. You could have dozens and dozens of units if desired, like on a junior college campus or something like that.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Jordan. Do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
Well, I just want to say thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your time as always. Like I said, we know that autonomy is here to stay, and we are certainly looking at ways to make life a little bit easier for you. We know that one of the things that everyone deals with is that challenge of how is it that we deploy and manage our assets to be the most efficient that we possibly can. And we think this autonomous vacuum is something that's really going to be able to help alleviate time so those humans can take care of the other humans, or heaven forbid, an emergency, or we just really want to take some of that day-to-day time and give you back some of those labor dollars, because as we know, it's difficult to find time in those assets. So that's really what we're trying to help here with.